This is not the easiest topic to talk about, but I realized that I think that it really needs to, that I wanted to make a video on it because a friend of mine called me in light of a tragedy that happened with a child of somebody who she was close with, she is close with, and she had these feelings of guilt for even having her own healthy children. And I really, really resonated with what she was saying, and I was also able to help her through that, which made me realize that if she has experienced that, I had experienced that in the past, that it's possible that maybe you have experienced something similar. And the way that I related to it was, I remember anytime that I used to hear of a tragedy that used to happen, a family, God forbid, something happened to them, they were killed, or something happened to kids, like all of that stuff, there's tragedies that happen, and I would go into a complete panic. And that's really where she was also. Like, she was just like traumatized. She's like, I don't, she felt like she didn't even deserve to have her own healthy children, and like, I just remember going into just a panic, like just trauma. And so what I want to say on that is that I think when other people's tragedies bring up trauma in us, like in you, and I know when I have heard of it and it brought up all of this unhealed stuff, that's what it is. It's bringing up unhealed traumas in me. And that's what happened with her as well, is that it's stuff in her that was unhealed, and if it happens in you, it's an indication that something is going on with you, that you're making their story about you. And really what people need, even if it's from a distance, like even if it's a news story, which, by the way, I know I've mentioned this many times, I do not watch the news, but if there's something that happened that's important or whatever, like, you'll end up finding out about it if you don't watch the news. But that was a time that I was still watching. And for me, I just lost my train of thought, but I'm coming back here. For me, what I realized was that I called a friend, I called one of my mentors, and I talked to her about it. And the amazing thing to me is she was not shaken up about it. And she was she still is very, very solid. And it really, really helped me a lot. A couple of people and a couple of times. So I have definitely gotten coaching on this, and it has totally, totally helped me. And especially going through my own healing process, it has been so, so helpful. Because what they need, this is where I was going with it, is what they need is for me, and they need for you to stay connected to yourself. Otherwise, what are you going to do? You're going to go into trauma. You're going to go into an anxiety attack and a panic attack, and then you lose yourself. And then it's like, what good are you to the people that are in the tragedy, and what good are you to your own self and to your own family? Now, of course, you're always going to be good for people, but I hope you understand what I mean by that. I mean, I'll just talk for myself. Is like when I had gone into like anxiety and panic attacks because of unthinkable tragedies that have happened to people, and I just lost myself. I was not able to be a functioning mother. I wasn't able to be a functioning person. It was hard for me to function at work, like just not functioning. And so what was so important, what's really, really important, and I think for the world, is that we need to be a space. Like I would need now, like I needed to be a space for my friends. Okay, if I wasn't a space for my friends, and if she called me and said to me how traumatized she is, and then I went into, oh my God, I can't believe that happened, I also have a kid that's around that age, and if I went into that and I was traumatized by that, I would actually be of no help to her. So what we talked about a little bit is how it doesn't belong to me. Okay, so when those tragedies were happening, and it was suggested to me, which was really, really helpful, was that, and which I'm going to tell you, is that it's not yours. Like it's ours in terms of being like a human race, or if it's part of your community, or if anything like that happens, like in that way, it's yours, but it's not personally yours for you to go through. And you don't have the ability to go through that tragedy because you're not going through it, right? Like, I talk to people and tell them about my story, they're like blown away, because they're like, I would die. And I'm like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe, but maybe you wouldn't, because you were going, because I went through it, and it's like, even though I almost didn't make it a couple times, there was still something there for me, because I had the tragedy, so I also had the ability to reach out to my creator. Like, I had the ability to reach out to God in a way that I wouldn't have had if I was not going through it. So that's not to say that I need to make space for people, and but the most important thing is that the most valuable thing that I can do is I need to get better and heal my own stories, because as I heal myself, that gives permission for other people to heal. And ultimately, God willing, this will heal the world. Like, the more everybody takes responsibility for their own life and allows other people to have problems, and allow quote unquote other people to experience tragedy, and also to allow other people to experience their own feelings regarding the tragedy, and also owning your own stuff. Of course, it's going to be horrible, and sometimes things will happen and you're going to be sad, and of course, and it's going to be very disturbing. Let me just see. So important. My glasses. Dre, hi Dre. So important to stay strong in our energy. This way we can, gosh, it's so silly that my glasses. Anyway, we be much more supportive to those going through grief, denial. Thank you, that's exactly right. Sorry I botched that one, but yeah, that's exactly right. So that's the thing about staying connected, and staying connected to yourself. And that's what I'm going to offer you, is to see how can you be connected to yourself, because the truth is it's almost easier to go into the trauma and to go into drama about other people's tragedies and grief, but that's not helpful, and it's only easier because it's uncomfortable. It's like uncomfortably comfortable, right? It's like, it's harder because you're experiencing painful emotions. But it's easier in terms of, well, that's just like a natural way of being, you know, like, oh, I just want to be sad, this is a terrible thing, and then also just go into it. But what is harder but more effective, and actually part of the healing process, is to be able to redirect the energy, just like Dre was saying in his comment, is to stand strong in your own energy and have love and compassion for the event and the people that it happened for, and also for yourself. And it's also a good opportunity to be able to see, what is this bringing up, because a lot of times it's bringing up my old stories. It's bringing up my old stories of stuff, again, that has not been healed, and things that just feel like they're just going to be out of control, and such terrible things can happen, and it just brings on an onslaught of emotions and ideas that are not even grounded in reality. They're just grounded in fight or flight. They're grounded in fear, and fear is not a grounded place to be in. A grounded place to be in is from love, and the only way to come from love is to be connected to yourself. And when you're connected to yourself, the higher part of yourself, that is being connected from love and a place of love, and that's what is needed. That is needed. We need to come from a place of love, to love each other, to love ourselves, and that's the way we can support each other. And if this is resonating with you, if you need help with this, I offer you could totally contact me, and we could talk about it. Like, feel free to private message me, and to shed some light on the issue, or maybe you know somebody who needs some help with this, or anything else that I share. Feel free to like and share this post, and you could also find me on veredsiegel.com. And if you have any questions, just message me, or if you just want to talk about something, just go ahead and message me, and I am available. And I hope you have a very connected night, like connected to yourself, to the highest part of yourself that's rooted and grounded in love. Love you.